Welcome to week 30 of the golfing year, and what a week it's been with the Open Championship. We will unpack it all shortly. Big thanks to our fantastic partners, Ping, who'll help you play your best, as they have for Nick O'Hearn. See your local golf shop or professional and arrange a Ping Club fitting. And Frank and the team at the new Watch My Numbers app. This is the most powerful database golf app in the world. You can download from the App Store or Google Play and play smarter by using your data. And the Golf Clearance Outlet. They're in Melbourne, Sydney, Brisbane and Perth, and online at golfclearanceoutlet.com.au. And if you haven't joined GCO Live, their membership club, check it out. Discounts, early bird specials, great prizes, just $19 a year. Now, former world number 16 Nick O'Hearn and former Tour Pro Mark Allen. This is Talk Birdie to Me.
And with a score of 275, the winner of the gold medal and the champion golfer of the year is Xanders Schauffele.
Well, Nick, I'm glad someone's name was said right there. Hey?
I wouldn't want you doing that announcement.
Schauffele. I was waiting for Schauffele, and I was just going to be so happy if they said Schauffele, but they said it your way. Disappointing.
It's pretty cool to be known as champion golfer of the year.
Well, you'd want to be introduced, wouldn't you, on the first tee, wherever you played, for the rest of your defence as Nick O'Hearn, the champion golfer of the year.
I'd be wanting to be introduced when I just came home. I'd get Alana to say, girls, here's the champion golfer of the year. Wouldn't that be cool?
Well, as far as I could tell, Nick, his iron play in the final round was the absolute kill of the tournament. And thanks very much to Live at the Golf, because I've been taking photos of all their stats. But I'm just looking at his shots gained approach rank since 2018. He went from 64th, which is still pretty bloody good. If you're 64th on that tour as far as shots gained approach, he went 64, 26, tied 37th in 2020. Then in 2021, he went to 14th. 2022, he went to 7th, 4th and 5th. So he's been the top 10 the last 3 years. We've seen little adjustments along the way, but now he becomes the 5th player to win 2 majors in 1 year as their first 2 majors.
Yeah, it's interesting, those stats too, how he's improved. And you think, well, his iron play must have gotten better. And yes, it has, but I'm assuming you watched a bit of that live from the Open. Brandel Chambly brought up a great point. It's to do a lot with his speed.
Yeah.
Like his ball speed's gone from low to mid 170s into the mid 180s now, low 180s. And all of a sudden, instead of hitting... Well, I think they showed a hole where him and Justin Rose both hit tee shots on, could have been 15, something like that.
Yeah,
and
I saw it.
Rose had 180 yards in and Scheffler had 150 yards. And that is the difference right there. So I think a lot of those numbers come back to how far he's hitting the ball. And if you had length off the tee this particular week, you had such an advantage over everyone else. And the other guy I was really most impressed with, I think, in that final round was Tristan Lawrence.
Yeah.
Because he just pulled driver everywhere.
Yeah.
If you can hit that thing straight, well, happy days. He did knock like one in the fairway bunker on the first, and did you see the one on 18 where he almost hit himself with his second shot? He's hit it in the fairway bunker, had a crack. Somehow the ball missed him, and he ended up making a phenomenal par. But I love watching him. Well, he didn't back off the whole day.
No, the whole way. And he won he's won like 4 times on the DP World Tour. I didn't realise that. And I didn't realise he won back-to-back last year. So when I saw his name in the final group with Billy Horschel,
Shuffling Horschel.
Yeah, I thought, okay, that kind of is a downer until you look at the record. And then you see there's 4 wins recently. So he was very deserved. What about Brown? He was a
good.
mystery man to me. Yeah. He hadn't made a cut since February, I think. He made the cut in the Scottish Open the week before and finished, 60-something. Yeah. But before that, it was nothing all the way back to February. And then to play the way he did,
well, he's the first round leader. It's his first major, and you go out and shoot 65 to lead the golf tournament.
Okay, so pop quiz really quickly. The only players to win their major in their first game. So Francis Ouimet is one.
Yes.
I'll give you that one. There's 2 others.
I think one of them's got to be Ben Curtis.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, and there's one other, and he's just been awarded something of high distinction for American golf.
Really?
Just last week.
Oh, gosh. Hang on. You're throwing me under the bus here. I'm trying to think.
Keegan Bradley.
Of course.
Oh, yeah.
The PGA, that was his first major.
His first major. So he won a major in his first. Ben Curtis won a major in his first attempt, and so did Francis Ouimet way back when. Won a major in his first crack at it. So I didn't think that was going to happen with this kid.
No.
With Brown.
No.
But even so, you know,
he
when I
hung
watched
tough.
him. Yeah, when I watched him swing, I thought, wow, I want to swing it like you, mate.
And he played in the worst of the weather on that, which day was it? I'm trying to think. Was it the third round?
Third round was shocking.
Yeah.
By the way, it was the perfect open, wasn't it? I mean, the golf course looked sensational. The rough wasn't too long. The course was in magnificent condition. The greens weren't super slow. We had an array of wonderful Scottish weather. And then the last day, it eased up enough to where we could see some, a real shootout.
Yeah, the final round, the wind really picked up early, and I thought, I hope it stays. But it sort of drifted off. There was still breeze, but enough to really make them think, obviously. But it would have been fun if they almost got 25, 35 mile-an-hour winds. That would have been carnage, like we saw on that on the other day, the third round where the wind switched. That was interesting. The first 2 days they had the wind coming out of the south-southwest, and then it switched on the third day, and they're all going, this back nine is the hardest 9 holes of golf I've ever played. You couple that with the trains whizzing past.
Yeah, the trains are
You've
good.
actually got to time it. They're standing on that 11th tee, and I saw a couple of guys go, train coming. Had to back away. Then you got the aeroplanes flying overhead. It was fascinating. The pot bunkers are everywhere. It was a great course. I've never played there, unfortunately. I wish I had.
Yeah. The long par 5, they were talking about being the longest par 5 in the Open.
The sixth hole, I think.
Yeah, the sixth hole. That run, actually, 6, 7, 8. So 6, 7 is a funny little hole. It was downwind on the last day, and they were just chipping it on, basically. And then the 8th, of course, is the postage stamp. Yeah. And that coffin bunker, I've watched the postage stamp a lot. I've seen enough Opens at Royal Troon. I didn't realise that coffin bunker on the left-hand side was so brutal.
Oh, yeah.
Until I saw Lowry, who played magnificent, my God, in the first 2 rounds, and Brown in it. Their balls were next to each other.
Yeah.
I had no idea that it was that severe. Yeah, I had no idea.
It's 2 paces wide. It's very deep. And Lowry really... He could have run away with the tournament there. He missed a short birdie putt on 7 on that Saturday, and then makes double on 8 and comes home in a bit of a train wreck on that back 9 and shoots 77 and then kind of shoot. He's not out of it. He's still 3 back going into the final round, but he could have posted 7 or 8 under, had a 4-shot lead, and you'd be looking at him winning another Open, and then next year it's back at Port Rush where he won last time.
Do we play enough golf on links courses?
No.
And when I say do we, I mean the world's best.
No. Simple. Very simple answer. I think if you spoke to all the guys in that field that played well, obviously, but even the ones that missed the cut. I mean, we saw Max Homer on the Friday, the second round. He held like a 25-footer, and it was like he won a golf tournament because he wanted 2 more days on this style of golf. And I remember playing Opens where I missed cuts, and I'm thinking, damn, I don't get another chance to play this sort of golf because you don't get to play it that often. It'd be great if they had a 3 or 4 week run. We had the Scottish, the Irish, this one, the Open Championship, and maybe even throw another one in the following week. I don't know, play a month's worth of it. It would be brilliant.
Yeah, I never know why more Ryder Cups aren't played on golf courses like this. I mean, they must be, forking out some cash. I know the K Club paid for a Ryder Cup, and
Well, the Europeans do a smart thing there. You see, what they do is they have Ryder Cups on courses that they play year in, year out. So it's the K Club, it's Le Golf National, it's Glen Eagles. Those styles of courses where they know those golf courses really well, so they have a bit of an advantage. In America, they play courses where they might have majors on it, like a Hazeltine or a Bethpage. They don't play Quail Hollow, Colonial or Hilton Head. If they had Ryder Cups there, Americans would slaughter them, basically, although a lot of the Europeans play over there now anyway. But the Europeans are smart that way, but you'd love to see, like the Walker Cup, you'd love to see a Ryder Cup at a links course.
Yeah, it's a really interesting point. I've never thought of it like that.
Oh, yeah.
But what's the right mix? I mean, if I watch 40 weeks of golf a year, which is probably what I do, is 40 weeks, around Christmas, I probably don't worry about it too much. But if I'm watching golf 40 weeks a year, I'd like to watch tournaments on that style of golf course 25% of the time.
Absolutely.
10 of them.
Yeah, 1 out of every 4 would be fantastic.
We wouldn't get bored. We wouldn't lose
definitely.
It wouldn't lose its luster.
No, No, I mean, Scotty Scheffler early in the week said this is how golf's meant to be played. He's the number one player in the world, and he hasn't played much links golf. So, and the fascinating thing about that style is the bunkers look so small, but they play really big.
Huge.
Because the ball, once it gets within 4 or 5 yards, it's like this vacuum. The ball gets sucked in there, and all of a sudden fairway bunkers become real hazards where you got to go out sideways, backwards. Greenside bunkers, you can just have all sorts. Every time you hit it in a pot bunker over there, you're thinking, I hope I have a shot.
Yeah.
Rather than, oh, well, I'll just splash it out.
Yeah. I actually love the 18th hole.
Yeah.
Those pot bunkers on the left on the fairway, you hit it left, if you're not going so well. If you're a little bit tight, it's every professional's, the pull. Yeah. I'll put it that way.
Dan Brown got a great break on the first day.
Oh, did he what?
He jumped one of those bunkers, ends up making birdie, and he's leading the tournament.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
But, that 18th hole, that was... I just love the way it sets up. Did Scheffler, what did he do on the last day with his iron? How did he end up there?
Well, yeah, he hit it about 120 yards,
Was he trying to hit a stinger or something?
Yeah, he was hitting an iron as they all do off that hole, and it looks as though he just caught a little heel chunky stubber and hit a little... You get the tracer, which just nosedive left, and then he ended up... You saw his third shot because he couldn't get it out of the hay or the gorse, whatever he's in. He made double bogey, but at that stage, it didn't matter to him anyway.
Yeah. Well, I might do my top 5 18th holes on British Open rotor courses.
Oh, okay. There's some good ones.
I'll stick that away a little bit
I'll
later.
be interested to see the order.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Our boys, what do you think of the Australians?
Yeah, they put up a good fight. Scotty was the best of them. It tied for 10th. He was a bit undone by 77 on the Friday.
Yeah, in the weather.
Jason Day, he had that 76 on the Saturday. And then in the final round... I don't know if you saw what he was wearing. But,
I saw it.
Yeah, he had his jumper tucked into his pants. Now, I would have loved to have seen it out because this thing was the baggiest jumper ever. It's what do they call it? Malbon, I think is the brand.
Yeah, Malbon.
And it would have been the Michelin Man or something. It would have been kite surfing. It was hilarious.
I thought I was watching an episode of Miami Vice, and Don Johnson was playing a little bit of links golf.
He's a real repeat offender, isn't he?
Well, that's just the look. That's that look of clothing that he's got. I don't think it's taken off.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I mean, they've got who is it? What's her name?
Charlie
Hull, who wears it on the women's tour.
What, baggy stuff like that?
Oh, not the baggy stuff, but it's that Malbon gear. But I think the hardest done by Australian was Cam Davis. I think he ended up being first alternate. You got to sit there all day on Thursday.
Yeah. And
he didn't get in the field. So that's a real tough one. The guys, I'll go through the results later, but the Aussies that didn't make the cut, Minwoo Lee got a great round first day, 71, shoots 80 in the second day, and I think he just played pretty poorly. It was a bit of a tough one for him. Elvis Smiley, a couple of solid rounds, 76, 75, but missed the cuts. Jasper Stubbs hit one's OB on his first hole on Thursday. That's a tough way to start, isn't it?
I saw it. Who was he playing with again? He was playing with a superstar. He's playing with a really good player.
I think he was playing with Rose and someone else. But
he played with Rose.
To his credit, he shot 79 that first day and came back and shot 72 the second day. So he had a bit of a chance to make the cut in the end. So that was and then Cam Smith, obviously, shot a snowman, an 80 on Thursday. And
how many Opens did you play? I mean, I played one. You played how many?
6 or 7, I think.
Right.
Yeah.
So what's the main thing that you took away from it? I mean, for me, the year that I played in Carnoustie, I just couldn't believe how far the ball went when it hit the ground.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was an unusual Open that week because it had rained an awful lot and the rough was crazy, like super crazy. But the 2 months before the tournament started, baked.
Yeah.
So the fairways were like this. And I remember there were run-outs to doglegs that were 260 yards and we were hitting 6-iron off the tee to try and stop it going through the run-out.
Yes.
So what are the takeouts from you? I mean, you played in many more than I did. But
the ones I played at St Andrews, for example, were baked out in 2000, 2005, and Tiger won both of those. Not surprisingly, but the ball was running a mile. I remember Royal St George's played that one where Ben Curtis ended up winning, and you could hit a drive there and think that's down the middle of the fairway, and you're going, I'm not sure if this is going to finish in the left rough or the right rough because the bounces you get are out of control.
Yeah.
Where else did I play? Birkdale. I remember at Birkdale where there was one par 4 going back and forth alongside each other. And on one hole, I've hit my 9-iron 180 metres.
Yeah.
And on the next hole, I had to hit a 3-iron from 140 metres.
Yeah.
That's how strong the wind was blowing.
Yeah.
So it just gives you an idea of the shots that you have to hit there. And And the creativity I think you have to have as well. What fascinated me early on in the week, especially here, was Xander Schauffele. I think he spoke after the second or the third round. When he went to warm up out on the range, he said luckily the wind was coming from the right direction on the range, and he put down his, the GC quad or whatever they call those things, and he started dialing in, okay, how much is this ball getting affected in the wind? And that helped him out on the golf course that day.
Isn't that incredible?
So when we played, you just had to figure it out. You go, oh, gee, the ball's moving a lot today. How are we going to manipulate it? So now they rely so much more on the numbers.
So what you're saying is Xander, he'd hit a 7-9 on the range, and the numbers on his machine said perfectly hit. Mm-hmm. And then he could look up.
Yeah, and see how much it was curving.
And see how much it was curving.
Exactly.
They use the term a lot, particularly in Scotland, a heavy wind. Mm-hmm. And I don't think you understand until you actually play in it. I mean, there was a on the postage stamp, I saw one of the Hoygards on the last day. It was 100 yards. Well, it might have been the second last day. It was 100 yards.
No, it was 100 on the last day.
It was 100 yards.
How good's that?
And he hit a 9-9.
Yeah.
And it didn't look like it was blowing that much. But they were talking about the heavy wind.
And they're trying to take the spin off the ball too.
Yeah.
If you had any spin at the front of that green, it got sucked off into that front bunker and it was dead.
Yeah, because you'd actually feel the wind. And if you were playing here in Australia, you'd go, all right, that's a 2-club wind. Yeah. That's what it would be. But over there's so much moisture in their air that it just creates more friction than we are used to. So the heavy wind, it might feel like a 2-club wind, but because of the heaviness, it ends up being 3 or a 4-club wind.
Yeah.
And that's really hard to get used to.
It can be. Yeah, well, that's why you got to get over there early, I think, and prepare and play the week before and get used to the conditions as to how the ball's reacting, flying through these sorts of breezes. Funnily enough, that postage stamp hole, the players on the tee couldn't feel the wind because they had a massive grandstand all to the left of it. So you'd walk up onto that tee and you can't feel the wind, but you know when the ball got above the grandstand, it's going to get hit. The other thing they didn't do is they didn't put any flags on top of the grandstand, so they couldn't see how strong the wind was. They had to look over 2 fairways away to find some flags and go, well, oh, okay, it's blowing that much. So they tricked it up really well on that hole. I thought it was great.
Yeah.
Is not having flags up there?
They did that intentionally.
Is that a bit? Yeah, I was going to say, is that a bit sneaky to help the local?
Yes,
I think so. Yeah.
That's really sneaky.
Yeah, every other grandstand had flags on them, except that one.
Because the grandstands act like a wind shield.
Yeah,
particularly when you get close to the green, and quite often when there is a big crowd around you, and there are no trees like there are on links golf courses. It's hard to feel that wind, and we're used to just looking up the trees or seeing where the bird is having trouble flying or whatever you might be looking at. But over there, you're really reliant on the flag near the clubhouse or the flag on the grandstands to get an absolute idea of the help or the hindrance.
Which talks to your point, Nick, about getting there early and getting used to the conditions.
Used to, and Larry brought it up where he played there 2 or 3 weeks before, and he saw every wind possible because a lot of the players were saying, we've never seen this wind on the third day because it was completely different to the practice rounds and things like that. But going back to Xander, I think his performance was just stellar. I mean, the back 9 he hit driver irons was just quality. The chip shot he hit on 16 where he had to really dig it out. Played it almost like a Floridian shot, he said, where he had to sort of dig it out of a tight lie. And I had some question marks on him going into the PGA because he'd won the PGA, obviously. And I think his caddy spoke to it a little bit. If that putt on 18 lips out and he loses into playoff to Bryson, does he win this tournament? Who knows? But you could see the confidence in him on that back 9 in the final round, just knowing I've done this before. And he spoke about, I looked at the leaderboards, I wanted to know where I was. But I think previously he'd never really done that. He did it at the PGA where he did it. So he's on a tear at the moment. His ball striking, it's almost as good as Scheffler's, but the biggest difference is his putting. I think he's number 2 in putting on the tour, whereas Scheffler's 50 or 60 or something like that.
Well, that's what McGinley said. McGinley makes the point that his stats from tee to green and short game are as good as Scheffler. The only difference is he's a good putter.
He's a good putter. Yeah.
He becomes it's been done now 7 times. The PGA and the Open in the same year. So Walter Hagen did it in 24, Nick Price in 94. Tiger Woods twice, 2000 and 2006. Patrick Harrington in 2008. Rory McIlroy in 2014. And now Xander Schauffele in 2024. How many majors has he got in him? is my question.
It's a good question. Well, right now, he wishes there was another one coming up in a few weeks.
Yeah.
They got the Olympics.
Yep.
And I think he's defending Olympic champion too, isn't he? So it could be, I mean, player of the year right now, you almost have to give to Schauffele. Everyone's talking about Scheffler, but now it's basically Schauffele. But there were some big names as well that missed the cut this week, had a good chance. Rory, did you see him?
Yep.
He didn't flight the ball down much. Nope. He kept sending it up into the wind.
Said the wind got him.
The wind got him. Bryson.
Yeah.
He complained.
It's the wrong course for Bryson.
Well, British Open courses, link style, he's never going to.
We'll see at St Andrews. We'll see at St Andrews, Bryson, where you're a chance.
But did you see his comments earlier in the week? He said after the first day, I think it was when he had a bad day, he said, it's club issues. Because his driver is built for 190 ball speed, and given the cold and the wet, well, he can't create those speeds, so the club and the ball's not reacting how it should. You think, well, shouldn't you have figured this out before, Bryson? I mean, come on, seriously, dude.
Yeah.
He comes up with some random stuff, I will say that.
I was really hoping after the last couple of weeks, what happened with Rory, that he would have played really, really well, but to miss the cut was so disappointing.
By a long way too,
Cameron Smith, that was a shocker.
It was.
Actually.
Ludwig, he missed as well.
Ludwig was a shocker.
Hey, didn't you have money on Ludwig?
Yeah, I had a little bit.
Oh, did you? Okay.
A little bit on Ludwig and a little bit on Koepka.
Yeah, and Tiger.
Tiger.
No. Monty that's earlier in the week was saying maybe it's time to retire.
Can we just talk about Colin Montgomery just for a second?
He's your favourite guy, isn't he?
I mean, Jack Nicklaus, he played in Opens and US Opens for so long, and he was so welcome. And people who went through the gates just to get a glimpse of the guy. Same with Arnold Palmer. Same with Tom Watson. And here you have what many people think. He is the greatest player we've ever seen. And I know he's not as old as Nicholas was and Arnie was.
48 or so,
he's coming up to 50. But,
Monty's,
let people see him.
Yeah, he can play until he's 60, by the way. He did bring that up in the press conference.
He's got another 12 years.
You've heard Tiger's comments?
Can you play them for us? So let's just relive them.
All right.
I think they're justified too. I mean, that's the sort of stuff that Tiger always says. He's got that one-liner that he thinks is a real zinger. But, I mean, in this case, just leave him alone.
Tiger, just to almost follow up on that. You've given so much to this game, you've given so much to this championship. But, there was comments, last week from Colin Montgomery who said, why is he here? He should retire. There's no point to this. Do you feel that's a bit hurtful and you've earned the right to make the decision when you decide?
Well, as a past champion, I'm exempt till I'm 60. Colin's not. He's not a past champion, so he's not exempt. So he doesn't get the opportunity to make that decision. I do.
I mean, that's all he needed to say, really, wasn't it?
Fair enough.
And I'm glad he didn't carry on. And honestly,
well, Todd Hamilton,
Colin, pull your head out of your ass, will you?
Todd Hamilton is still playing, and he doesn't play very much at all these days, and he was out there playing. Justin Leonard, past champions. If it was me, I'd be playing there every year if I possibly could. Yeah.
Hey, as far as ice cool back nines to win a major, I mean, I think John Rahm still pips it. When John Rahm won the Masters, I reckon that the way he played the back nine of Augusta was as ice cool as I've ever seen.
Scheffler as well.
But that one was up there. That one, Xanders Schauffele, the way he played that back nine with major pressure to be a two-time major champion in 2 in a year, to basically make you the best golfer of the year, 2024, no one's going to beat him now. That's as ice cool as I've seen anyone play.
Yeah, it was up for grabs too. He was still 1-2 back. It was sort of Lawrence was up there until 12, 13, 14, around there. So it was still up for grabs, but he just kept hitting quality shot after quality shot. He spoke about the tee shot on 11, got a little bit of a lucky kind of, if that kicks into the gorse, all of a sudden you're staring bogey, double bogey, but he makes birdie. It was the hardest hole on the golf course. It was the only birdie of the day. I thought the way Rose plays was fantastic too. He hung with him the whole way. It was just those key moments when you need to make a putt, or there's just one shot. I think for Rose it might have been on 14 or 15, somewhere like that, where he made a bogey and Xander didn't, and that was the difference. And there's your 3-shot swing. Now,
I've got 2 things to talk to you about just before we make the turn here. Trevino, did you see the 1-hour program that was running on Fox this week?
I haven't seen it, no.
It was so good. I had tears in my eyes at one stage.
Really?
There were some things about Lee Trevino that I did not know. I won't be a spoiler, a killer of fun, but make sure you see Trevino. It was one of the best pieces of golf history
Okay.
about a player who is revered in the sport that I've ever seen. But I'm a big Lee Trevino fan.
I'm going to watch it tonight then.
Yeah.
Perfect.
I've actually got 3 things. 2, how about 3 channels showing the Open on Friday, Thursday and Friday? You had the Par 3 channel, you had the Groups channel, what do you call it, the Feature Groups channel, and then you had the channel.
Oh, okay.
3.
3. Fantastic.
Not bad. Well, I was flicking around.
I just go to the main coverage and put it on and away we go.
I was flicking around. Now, I want to give everybody this opportunity, so don't think this is just a plug for the company who I hit golf shots for, which is Team Titleist. But I tested out the new GT drivers and fairway woods this week.
Oh, okay.
They are very, very good.
Mm-hmm.
I want to put it out there. Any kind of new gear that comes on, I think we should be talking to the people because even though I play Titleist, we know stuff from Callaway is sensational. We know stuff from TaylorMade is sensational. And we know things from Ping are absolutely world class. But I would like to get the people on from Titleist to talk us through the new GT drivers and fairway woods.
Mm-hmm.
And the same when something new comes out from Callaway. And the same when something from any group.
Yeah.
So if you can get in touch with us, it's very simple. You get in touch with us at Dan.
Talkbirdie2me.com.au.
That's right. Talkbirdie2me.com.au. I think that'd be a good idea because our listeners love golf.
You know what also would be a good idea? After a year and a half of this pod, if you could remember the website address.
Yeah, I know. I'll get better at it.
Yeah.
I will. Yeah, I know it changes.
First you're cracking jokes, and now you're forgetting website addresses. This is ridiculous.
I've got another joke too, actually.
Oh,
really?
I've got another joke. It might be a tiny bit risque, but
Well, give it a go.
oh, give us a go, and if we
Can
need
always,
to do a post-edit, we can do that.
it's got a little bit to do with our New Zealand friends,
Okay.
Oh.
right? How do New Zealanders find sheep in long grass?
No. Go on.
Very pleasurable.
Oh, gosh.
Dear me.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah,
Wait,
I made all my New Zealand friends.
you might need to
Very pleasurable.
edit that one out.
No, it's staying in. It's
Oh,
staying
is
in.
it? Okay.
It's staying in, and he's going to cop every bit of flake we get for that will be
Come
directed
on.
to
How
you.
do New Zealanders find sheep in long grass?
Yeah, we heard it the first time.
Very pleasurable.
All right.
That's good.
Time for the turn and a sausage roll. Jeez.
Ox and Marco, a couple of great mates with a fun podcast. And occasionally, well, let's just say, it can get a little sexy.
No, it wasn't my first pash.
Okay.
It was my first
Early.
emotional pash. Or the first one with feelings. In the back of a laser.
Right.
Little Ford laser gear it was too. So it had the velour seats.
First pash, I was 11 years old.
Oh, here we go. 11.
11?
11 years old.
I didn't even know I had anything at 11.
I was on a cricket pitch
Oh,
in Box Hill.
don't tell me you bowled her over.
No.
Ox and Marco's Couple of Blokes podcast. Lots of fun, plenty of banter, and even the odd bit of romance. There's a new episode every Wednesday. Just search Couple of Blokes wherever you get your podcasts. Thanks for listening to Talk Birdie to me, and if you're up for it, we'd love you to subscribe, rate and share the podcast wherever you listen. And thanks to our great partners who make the show possible, Ping, they'll help you play your best, Watch My Numbers, the most powerful database golf app in the world, and the Golf Clearance Outlet. They beat everyone's prices. Now, back to Nick O'Hearn and Mark Allen.
Time for this week's top 5. I think it's going to be very pleasurable.
Oh, jeez.
And this week, it is the top 5 18ths in the open rotation golf courses. Okay. All righty.
Top five.
So at number 5, well, I'm going to stick Royal Troon in there because I loved it. It's just the don't go left. Don't you dare go left. You'd be thinking that when you're standing on the tee, mostly right-handers. Although, didn't we see Robbie McIntyre and Phil Mickelson playing? How often did you play in groups where it was just where there were no right-handers?
Not in a group of 3, but in a group of 2, yeah. Every now and then I'd get Chalmers or Richard
nice?
Green. It was weird having people stand on my side of the tee. I was never used to it. But did you see Bobby McIntyre, by the way? He hit a shot right-handed.
Yes.
In the third round. And
not as good as Nico Who.
it's a pretty good swing.
Not as good as Nico Who, mate.
Okay. Well,
no, you've got him covered
I don't know.
nicely.
I don't know.
No sprinkler action for him? Nothing off sprinklers?
No. not
standing on the sprinkler.
Not this week.
Number 4, Turnberry. And I just love the history of the 18th at Turnberry. When you think about the jewel in the sun. Jack Nicklaus and Tom Watson. Nicholas hacking it out of the near gorse. It was just long rough, but hacking it out of that long rough next to the gorse, then hole on the 40-foot curler. Tom Watson tapping in the 2.5-footer with the 7-iron approach. Unreal.
They must be due to go back to Turnberry soon. Is it next year or the year after?
Yes.
Yeah.
Is it still called Trump Turnberry? They could get rid of the Trump, I reckon.
That might
just call it Turnberry.
Yeah, they should. They 100%.
That might have something to do with it, actually, but it hasn't been there in a while.
Yeah, I think that's right. I think
true.
They've taken it off the rotation because it has Trump Turnberry in front of it.
That's right.
Anyway, number 3. You can't have a bloke stand on the 18th tee 3 shots up and then hole an 8-footer to get into the playoff. I'm talking about the 18th hole at Carnoustie. Out of bounds, if you miss the green left, you've got the Barry Burn circling not far off the drive and then also before the green. I think the locals played as a par 5, or used to. Turns into a par 4. Yep. Yeah, it turns into a par 4 for the tournament.
Yeah, so Vanderbilt made triple, but you remember Harrington made double to get into a playoff as well.
Yes,
so it is a brutal golf hole.
It's a tough hole. Tough hole and a tough golf course as well. At number 2, again, a history lesson. Gary Player made this clubhouse and 18th hole very, very famous. Mm-hmm. Remember what he did? When he was sweeping the stones away from behind his ball.
Left-handed.
And then he swept and then in the same motion looked up at the people on the balcony and said, "Hey, can you quieten down?" to try and hide the sweep. Anyway, for that reason, it's more infamous than famous, but still, it is number 2 on my top 5 list. Lytham, a wonderful, wonderful 18th hole.
Which is that where Scotty? Yeah, Scotty lost the Open to Els.
We don't like to talk about it.
Sorry.
We don't like to talk about that. And at number 1, very simple, St Andrews. Just the Valley of Sin, not a bunker, out of bounds all the way down the right, the widest fairway you've ever seen, but still a really cool hole. And if you actually stand behind and watch the players drive when a tournament's involved, because you have the perspective of the 3- and 4-story buildings on the right-hand side, to actually see the golf ball rise, quite often you don't get that perspective when there's nothing around, but when there is square houses and buildings around, to see the ball rise and float in the air, it's a beautiful place to watch golf.
It's one of the best walks in golf too, up that 18th hole. Might have to do a top 5 walks in golf.
Yes, that's a good idea.
That last walk up that 18th with the galleries watching, the clubhouse in the background, it is stunning.
You mentioned Trump Turnberry before.
Yes.
I found out something on the weekend that I didn't know. You guys might know this. My daughter told me. Trump apparently buried his ex-wife, Ivana, at Trump Bedminster in New York, because that allows them to define it as a cemetery, and cemeteries in the US are exempt from tax.
That is magnificent work.
I had heard that. I had heard that a while ago.
Extraordinary.
Yeah, he will do anything.
It's unbelievable.
You only need one gravesite for it to be a cemetery,
I guess,
in America.
I suppose. I mean, it's just extraordinary.
Surely there are a few more hurdles to jump.
I don't know how I missed that story, by the way, because that's pretty well known, isn't it, Nick?
Oh no, I remember hearing about it. I don't know how long ago it was. Might have been a year or two ago, something like that.
Hey, I want you both to have a listen to this because our friend Sam Colosimo at the Golf Clearance Outlet, they've got their 4th major prize coming up. Now, this is called the GCO Store Sweep. So think back to old game shows. The winner will have 30 seconds to dash through one of our stores and grab whatever they want. Whatever you want. And at the end of 30 seconds, the items they collect are theirs to keep. However, there is a twist. The winner must select only one item from each category. So you can't just go and grab 5 sets of clubs.
I was just about to say, what are you running for? I reckon everyone's going for drivers.
So you can't just get one driver, one fairway wood and a dozen balls.
I think a good golf bag too. You got to get a good golf bag.
Yeah, you do. That is one thing you have to do. So go and join GCO Live today. It costs you bugger all.
$19.
$19. That's it. Less than
Amazing.
a Parmigiana.
Hey, you know who I bumped into this morning who runs one of the golf clearance outlet
Who?
stores was Leith Wassell.
Leith Wassell.
Yeah, I haven't seen him in ages. He was collecting his medal for 40 years at the PGA.
You're kidding me. He was one of the best putters I've ever seen, Leith Wassell.
Yeah, he was a very good player.
He had this Ping Pal, the big Ping Pal, the really wide ones that were going around for a little while.
Yeah.
And he holed everything.
Yep. He was kind of low to the ground, so that helps.
Yeah, that helps. There.
You hear the voicemail go off before?
Yes, I did.
You have one new voicemail. New message.
Hi boys, David here from Baldwin. Love the podcast. Good laughs, lots of information. Just regarding the merger of the two clubs, Metropolitan and Huntingdale, and you mentioned that some of the work that was done at Metropolitan put the club back years. I love playing at Metro, but I find it's got a couple of silly holes, 17 and 9, and the fact that they have redone their greens and are not going to pure distinction but going to their Metro mix as such, I think is probably a retrograde step from a very amateur golfer here. I just want to know your thoughts on what could be done, in your opinion, to improve what is already a great golf course, to make it a greater golf course, especially with Huntingdale being redesigned. Thanks, guys. Keep up the good work.
Well, I agree with a lot of what he just said. Mm-hmm. And I also agree with what we were talking about last time we spoke. I mean,
you're a big fan of the pure distinction, aren't you?
Oh, yeah. Well, it's a no-brainer.
Everyone has their favourite, like Metro Mix. I don't know what that is. Mount Lawley in Perth, they're doing the 707, I think it's called.
That's right.
And they compared it with the pure distinction, and they just found that was better for them. So I'm sure conditions dictates a lot of that as well.
Yeah, I haven't seen pure distinction go down anywhere where it didn't look unbelievable. That's what I know. I mean, at Royal Melbourne, their Sutton mix, it's not bad. It's a little bit too firm for my book, but it's not bad.
Yep.
A1's quite good. That's the same as Augusta and Kingston Heath. Doesn't work everywhere. Poa still gets through. But it just seems to me, the pure distinction, it has that firmness that keeps the greens, smooth.
Yep.
But two, it's just got this incredible colour. And every time I've played on it, no matter what course, no matter where it is perfect.
Yeah. No, it does roll very well. But I think what David may be speaking to, a couple of holes he mentioned, 9 and 17. 9, I believe they've moved the tee further left.
You and I played there not long ago.
Not as severe a dogleg. I like that move. 17, a lot of people talk about the trees. I actually like the trees.
I don't mind the trees.
It makes you shape your tee shot a little more, trying to work it around the fairway bunker. I think the holes probably, we've seen that need looking at as 12 and 13, par 4 and the par 3. So I'm sure that's in part of their plans. But overall, the course is fantastic.
Yeah, well, they're getting fixed up. So, the mess that was made there, it is going to be fixed up. I hope that the Huntingdale Metropolitan merger goes through. I'm not sure, it'll be open slather straight away, where Huntingdale members and Metro members will be able to cross over straight away. I think there might be a little term where they don't let many members in and they make it more manageable and, things will just change a little bit.
Yeah.
I think it will.
Now, if you want to leave a voicemail, how do we do it, Mark?
Talkbirdie2me.com.au and look for the button to push and record your message.
Jeez.
Is that right?
Yes.
He got it.
What does the button look like?
Oh, it's just a little button that says record. Yeah.
Oh,
beautiful.
That's it. It just says record.
Something like that, yeah.
Can we have it so it says leave a message here?
Well, I don't know, mate. I haven't rang it. I haven't gone there to leave a message because I don't need to.
No.
I'm thinking about a couple of messages I might want to leave for you, Mark.
Yeah. Thanks, David, for listening and leaving us that voicemail.
Okay, there's the music. Time for the Ping Global results.
All right, it was a big week in results, obviously, with the Open Championship on the gold medal, the champion golfer of the year, Xanders Schauffele. What a performance. Final round 65, low round of the day, obviously. Very impressive, as we've discussed. Tied for second was Justin Rose, shot a final round 67. Did you see the driver off the deck he hit on 16?
Just superb.
Billy Horschel, who has that fascinating shuffle into these putts. He's a character.
I don't call it fascinating.
Okay. You call it annoying? Okay.
Yes.
Well, he finished tied for second along with Justin Rose as well. Birdied the final 3 holes, so it was a really good finish to his round. Did you know back in 2016 he played the Open there at Royal Troon, shot 87 the second day to miss the cut.
Oof.
So I think he's exercised the demons.
Yeah, he has. Yeah, I was watching Billy Horschel all week. His swing was bad at the start of the week. It had this over the top. He was coming down really steep. And by the time he got to Saturday, it was gone.
Right.
He was swinging it perfectly. So
interesting.
It was fixed up, and
maybe he was hitting into that right hand wind on the front nine. Might have fixed it up.
Yeah, maybe.
Started dropping it in.
Maybe
either that or he had a swing for the front nine and a swing for the back nine.
But no doubt, I watched him play on Thursday night, and it was yuck. I thought, wow, how are you scoring the way you're scoring? It doesn't look very good, really.
His short game on Saturday was out of this world. Yep. Very impressive. So he was tied for second with Justin Rose. Tristan Lawrence finished in solo fourth. The silver medal, which was won by Callum Scott, who was a Scot.
And where does he go to college, Nick?
I have a feeling it could be Texas Tech.
Texas Tech. We're just dominating at the moment, Texas Tech.
You are.
I wonder if he knows I paved the way for him. You know, all the hard work I did back in the 80s. I hope he appreciates it.
Well, he was the Texas Tech alumni that actually made the cut. I thought the other guy might have made the cut because Ludwig missed, didn't he?
Ludwig missed.
Anyway, out of the Aussies and New Zealanders, Adam Scott was best, tied for 10th. Okay. Had it going on the Sunday. It was 2 under after 3, and we're thinking, can he make a charge? But he double bogeyed 10.
What about Kazuma? Because he got in off the back of winning the Order of Merit.
Unfortunately, Kazuma, his Friday finish, 5 over the last 5, missed the cut by 1.
5 over the last 5?
Yeah, it was a tough finish for him. Very tough. But Jason Day tied for 13th, had a 68 on Sunday. Daniel Hillier also tied for 13th. It was a good result for him. And Ryan Fox shot 67 on Sunday tied for 19th.
Good on you, Riser.
At the same time, on the PGA Tour, they had another tournament going over there near Lake Tahoe in California, the Stableford format.
Yeah.
So
I'm over the Stableford Pro.
History was created, Mark. Never has this ever happened before on the PGA Tour.
What happened?
An amateur and a pro has won on the PGA Tour in the same season. So who do you think won?
Well, an amateur won.
Well, an amateur, this guy, he won his first tournament as an amateur, his next tournament as a pro.
So his name is, and why am I having trouble remembering? It's a golf name.
It is.
Go on.
Nick Dunlap.
Thank you.
He stormed home with 19 points on the final round to win by 2, which basically equivalented, I looked at his score up, he shot a 9 under 62.
Wow.
8 birdies and an eagle.
So he's won on the
7
season once as an amateur and once as a pro.
Yes, never happened before on the PGA Tour because, well, usually if you're an am, you turn pro and you never win that year anyway, or you're already a pro.
I love the Ping Global results.
Come
during
up with
major weeks because I've got no interest in any other tournament that's going on, and I miss all this stuff.
You do. But he had a 2-point win over fellow American Vince Whaley on the LPGA Tour. They're playing the Dana Open in Sylvania, Ohio, where Thailand's Chanati Wanasain had a 1-shot win over South Korea's Haeron Ryu.
She's going well.
That was pretty good. Sarah Kemp had her best result of the year, which was great. Tied for 7th for the Australian, the Sydney sider, and Grace Kim was tied for 33rd. On the Ladies European Tour, they were playing the Dutch Open at the Hilversum Golf Club, which I actually played many years ago, links style. Love this golf course. Czech Jana Melikova came from 6 shots back for a 1-shot win over Switzerland's Kim Matro.
Okay. Do they have riveted bunkers in this Dutch course?
Oh, let me think.
I reckon I saw one.
It could have been.
I reckon I saw one riveted bunker.
Okay, all right.
So the only shot I saw during the week. Well, you know when you're flicking around.
So they've probably got all riveted bunkers.
Yeah. Well, mate, there was definitely one.
Revetted, not riveted. Okay. Momoka Kabori from New Zealand tied for 21st.
That's from Oakley Tech. We used to do a lot of riveting.
There you go. Okay. Momoka Kabori tied for 21st, Kelsey Bennett tied 52nd, and Whitney Hillier tied for 64th. On the Corn Ferry Tour, they were at the Price Cutter Championships presented by Dr. Pepper.
Really?
It's an interesting name for a tournament, isn't it? Springfield, Missouri. I actually played this golf course, and they go low. Yeah. They go really low around there. But American Matt McCarty had a 3-shot win over Tommy Gainey. Carl Phillips,
Tommy Gainey, 2 gloves.
2 gloves. Tommy 2 gloves.
Right.
The other 2 gloves didn't have a great week. Aaron Rye, he missed the cut, I think, at the Open. So, Carl Phillips, who I think got into this tournament because of a top 25.
10,
top 25 on the Corn Ferry gets in the next one. That's what it used to be. I'm assuming it's the same. Well, he had a tied 15th this week, so he should be into the next Corn Ferry Tour event. So he's getting on a little bit of a roll here. Yeah, it's good. On the Challenge Tour, they had the Urenbank Open in Austria. Unfortunately, no Aussies made the cut, but 18-year-old Englishman Frank Kennedy had a 1-shot win over German Nikolai von Dellinghausen.
Good name.
Very good. Von Dellinghausen.
Wouldn't want to try and say that when you're drunk, would you?
Exactly. No reds for me at the moment. On the Epsom Tour, they had the Twin Bridges Championship in upstate New York, where American Lauren Stevenson had a 2-shot win over Jessica Porvaznik. And amongst the Australasians, New Zealand's Amelia Garvey tied for 17th, and Perth's Madison Hinson-Tolshard tied for 26th, and that's our Ping global results.
Just shows you how much golf is being played around the world. Every week, I'm astounded where our kids.
You see the research I have to do for this, because I was like you. I was just watching the Open this week. I wasn't keeping much of an eye on it, but I thought, hang on, I better do some research.
Well, you've done very well, Nick.
You've been researching the Ping global results, and it's fantastic. Mark's been reading up jokes on the internet.
Oh no!
So that's the difference we're looking at here.
Exactly.
We've got some feedback here, boys. Would you like to hear some?
Let's go,
please.
Now, somebody has...
Did we do a poll last week?
No, we didn't do a poll last week.
No polls, sorry.
No, but somebody has picked you up your top 5 last week and thinks you missed something.
Oh, okay.
So we'll get to that shortly.
Great.
On the
Sounds like a whack.
No, that's not a whack. No, it's not a whack at all. On the Open Championship, Chris has written and said, I was really hoping for a Scheffler versus Schauffele shootout, just so Mark Allen had to try and describe it on Talk Birdie to me.
And if one of them hits a shank, we'll look out.
Can you imagine that? That would be your worst nightmare.
It would be.
Scheffler v. Schauffele.
That's true.
Well, I think Scheffler might have hit a toe shank on the last.
Did he? That's fantastic.
And Chris went on to say, good chat about the Metro Huntingdale merger, an excellent companion listen to the Australian Golf Passport episode, which obviously they must talk about the same thing, which is good. I'm not sure I agree about the Huntingdale name disappearing, though. The history of that club, I think it deserves better.
Okay. Well, it'll still be known as Huntingdale. It just won't be the Huntingdale Golf Club anymore. It'll just be Huntingdale Golf Course.
Okay.
Peter has written in, Ironman Peter has written into us and said on the same issue, the money is on one big clubhouse and 2 or 3 courses like the National.
I don't know where they'd put the clubhouse if they were just going to have one. I don't.
Yeah, I think they'll just keep it as is, wouldn't
Why wouldn't you just keep 2 clubhouses? I mean, they're already there. They're both world class.
Yeah.
Just leave them.
They both are stunning clubhouses.
Both fabulous clubhouses. Yeah, really good.
Cranky Felix has written in, guys, on the back of your Steel Spike chat, watching the Open coverage over the weekend, I've heard Koepka, Rose and Scheffler all wearing metal spikes. Maybe we need to roll back the plastics instead.
I think they should be banned. And I'd stand up to Tiger Woods, I'd stare him down and say, mate, you're not wearing these anymore. It's over.
First of all, Monty's had a crack at him, now you're having a crack at him.
That's right.
You and Monty, something in common.
That's right.
Who would have thought?
Well, someone's got to stand up to the bully, mate.
Matt from Bowen Heads. Hey, guys, regarding your chat about players wearing metal spikes, Rory has worn them quite often in the past, at least in the US Open in 2022 and 2023. And during the final round at the Oz Open at Victoria a few years ago, I saw Lucas Herbert wearing metal spikes.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, righto. Well, at least these days you can tap them down. And in actual fact, you can just rip it up. So once upon a time, you couldn't tap them down or rip them up. But I reckon I saw players, particularly from Europe, when they used to come down to play, they would just rip it up. And I'd look at them like that, and they go, less impediment, and throw it away.
Yeah, okay.
That's what they do. Ooh. So that's what they would do. So
every now and then you get that one which has detached itself, and you go, you just kind of. But usually, what you do is you brush it first to see if it's loose, and then
that's right,
and then you can pick it up. Whereas if you just go straight in,
well, not these guys. They just went rip.
Ooh, okay.
See you later.
All right.
You just stare at them and go, what was that? You know, with the what was that look at them, and they go, less impediment. And they just toss it.
Away they go.
Okay. Anyway.
Bit cheeky.
Yes, it was.
David Brophy has written in and said, hey guys, Victoria Golf Club member here. The course was only shut for 6.5 months, fully closed for 8 weeks. A temporary, very short, constantly changing 18-hole course was there for the remainder of the time, and it was the best thing the club ever did. I was on the board at the time.
Good man.
It was interesting. I had a game there the other day with a good buddy of mine, Paul Marsh.
How's it looking?
And it's good. It's in winter condition, obviously. The greens aren't as pure as you'd love them, but they still roll beautifully.
Is that Paul Marsh from the AFL Players Association? Yeah. Paul Marsh?
Marshy.
Yeah, okay.
Lovely guy. And a good player too. Playing off about 3 or 4 at the moment. And I asked him about it. I said, what did you think about the total shutdown? And he said, well, first of all, to your point there, Dan, it was only 7 months is what he thought, 6.5, 7, as you said. And he said, at the time, I wasn't playing much golf, so it worked out perfectly for me. He was busy doing his, everything
working.
with the, exactly. So he thought it was fantastic.
That's the other thing about the pure distinction greens, which Victoria have got. They go like that.
Yeah,
they actually
put them in and bang, they're away.
They're ready to go quickly.
Okay.
Wayne heard us talking about or giving a Coffs Harbour update on Eden last week, and he has said, pathetic by Coffs Golf Club. They should be ashamed. Now, by the way, I did email them all again.
Okay, another go. Gee, you're persistent then.
Well, yeah, it's like the fourth email now, but I can't do it anymore. It's ridiculous now. But you know, it's clear that Coffs don't want to come on and have a chat, and that's okay. That's their prerogative.
That's fine. They're hiding from Nick, mate. They know Nick is just going to tear him a new one. Tear him a new one.
I would have liked them to have come on, but they've chosen not to. And as we know, Eden has moved to Sawtell, so she's fine now, which is great. But it's it's a shame of a situation.
We should get Eden on the show one day to see how she's going.
Oh, maybe you should. It's a great idea. Let's do that.
When she gets down to in the teens. There you go, Eden. If you're listening, get to the teens. You'll be our special guest.
Trying to motivate her.
Yes. Well, let's do it properly then. Once you get down to single figures, then then we'll get you on.
Mitch Brown has said, Marco, did you take great joy in listening to Tiger's answer to the Monty question, given that you are the president of the Colin Montgomery is a Wanker Club?
Well, as a past champion, I'm exempt till I'm 60. Colin's not. He's not a past champion, so he's not exempt. So he doesn't get the opportunity to make that decision. I do.
Yeah, look, I did and I didn't, because I think also Tiger is one of the worst interviews in golf. That's my view. So I've kind of got a Bob each way going here, where I knew that was coming. He could have given a better answer than that, I reckon. He said the smart aleck answer.
Yeah. Final comment here. Nick, you missed what I think was the best open duel of all time. Sevy's 65 in 1988 against Nick Price's 69. Both played incredible golf.
Yeah, that's true. I have missed it, and that is my fault. Hit possibly one of the greatest chip shots of all time on that final hole too. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
I think he had a one...
Almost went in.
Might have had a one-shot lead or a two... No, he had a one-shot lead over Nick Price, I think it was, and he had this little smelly lie on the left side down, and he just... kissed the right edge of the cup. It was beautiful.
I reckon a lot of people made the cut that week, and I reckon Faldo might have been playing in that group as well.
Yes.
He didn't perform.
Three-man final group.
He didn't perform like the other two, but he was in that group.
How's that for a pairing, though? Sevy, Price, and Faldo.
Superb.
Not bad.
Superb.
Watch My Numbers is the most powerful database golf app in the world. You can play smarter if you use your data. Get it from Google Play or the App Store.
Yes.
And time for the masterclass.
Yes, and the masterclass this week is from our good friend. You mentioned earlier the Trevino documentary, Mark.
Yes.
Our good friend Ray Mack.
Yes, well, he dresses like Trevino.
Like Lee Trevino.
He actually swings a little bit like Lee Trevino.
Yeah, a little bit actually. But he messaged us actually earlier in the week talking about different things, and he suggested a good masterclass. And the more I thought about it, I thought, yeah, that is great.
Because a good idea,
what you would have seen if you watched all the open coverage was a lot of players up against these lips in these pop bunkers, and they really had to get the ball up quickly. You saw them struggle at times to get the ball up incredibly fast. A lot depended on the stance, things like that. I think Nick Faldo made an interesting point. If you were within one club length of the bottom of the face on some of these, he said, yep, you can go at it. If not, maybe time to go out sideways. I think the uphill lie had maybe something to do with that as well. But how do you get a ball up quickly out of a very steep-faced bunker? That is the masterclass this week. And first and foremost, need to create a lot of speed. What you would have seen if you watched a lot of these pros is they use a lot of speed coming down into the ball, and you actually want to have a much more sharper angle of attack. The other thing is, and this is where it can get a bit scary, is you need to open the club face right up.
Way up.
Like really lay it flat. I would suggest to people, practice, get on the range first, or the practice bunker, lay it as though it's almost flat, take a nice sharp vertical swing and really attack the ball coming down into it. The follow through, yes, it is important to follow through, but it's not a big deal if you do stop on a little, but create as much speed as you can and come down more at a vertical angle of attack, and that will pop the ball up a lot quicker. If you come in shallow, it actually doesn't get the ball up quicker. A more sharper angle of attack coming into it does get it up a little faster. But I'll post a video on socials. I'm actually going to have a game tomorrow down at the National. So what I might do, I might get in one of those bunkers on the Mooner courses, get right up against the lip and do a little masterclass there.
One take?
Oh, it always is.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
I remember you last year talking about Ray Mack, how he was flying over Tara Edie in a helicopter. Has he been doing any of that sort of action lately? Or?
Every second week.
Oh, he's travelling all the time. Yeah, who knows?
Helicopters over Tara Edie.
Well,
that's a bit next
It's
level.
a little bit. It's a joke, the life he leads.
Great show, boys. We will see you later this week for a bonus feedback pod.
Oh, good. Okay.
Okay.
Look forward to it.
All right.
And to all my New Zealand friends out there, how you going?
I thought you were going to say something else.
Yes. And thanks for listening to Talk Birdie to me. We appreciate you listening and getting involved. And a huge thanks to our fantastic partners. Without them, the show just wouldn't be the same. Watch my numbers. Download the app and turn your bogeys into birdies by analysing and improving your game like never before. The Golf Clearance Outlet. Awesome prices on great gear. You can see them in Melbourne, Sydney, Brizzy, Perth, and online at golfclearanceoutlet.com.au. And Ping. See your local golf shop or professional to arrange a Ping Club fitting. They'll help you play your best. If Ping's good enough for Nick O'Hearn, well, that says it all. And we'd love you to get involved with the show. You can leave a voicemail with any comments or questions at talkbirdie2me.com.au or send an email or comment on the socials. And if you can share the pod with a friend, well, we'd love that. Talk Birdie to Me's executive producer is Dan Bradley at Kaizen Media. Sound design, Daryl Misson at loudzebra.com.